Hey everyone, welcome to today's live AI on BNB. This is a new session. We have new guests and we're gonna discuss lots new things about AI and I'll learn lots of new things about AI. So today we have Alaya and Sky AI. And for Alaya, we have Richard, head of ecosystem, who's gonna represent Alaya, and Alan is from Sky AI, who is the founder of Sky AI. We're gonna represent today Sky AI. So in this session, we're gonna have discuss the intro of all projects, then live demo of all the projects gonna be present here, and after that we're gonna have a Q&A session where we're going to have to ask some questions to all of our speakers. Then all the people who are listening to this stream can comment their questions on the X live post below. So if you selected, we're going to give you some rewards or $100. So please feel free to comment your questions in the X live post. Thank you. Let's start the session and let's welcome Richard, head of ecosystem from Alaya, to give some opportunity to show the live and to ask some questions about Alaya AI. Hi,
Um,
Richard.
hi,
Welcome
hi,
to the live stream of
hi.
AI on BNB. So I'm gonna give you some opportunity to give your a 5 minute project intro, then a live demo. Then after that, I'm gonna have some questions, and you can pick some questions from the comments, so we can give reward to those people. So, are you fine to go with it?
Yes, that'll be great. Thank you very much for the introduction, Jitendra. So, I am Richard, head of ecosystem at Ally AI, and it's a real honor to be invited here again to share our progress and latest developments with all of you. For those who are new to our project, Alaya AI is an open, composable Web3 AI data labeling platform. So we aim to solve long-standing inefficiencies in traditional AI data pipelines by combining proven business models from Web2 data labeling businesses with the superior user network effects and flexible incentives of Web3 ecosystems. So, put it simply, Alaya AI works by enabling users to monetize their spare time through data contribution. For example, from simple image labeling to sentiment analysis, etc., to more complex information, such as autonomous driving footage and 3D point cloud datasets. So, in return, participating users can earn rewards, including BNB, stable coins, and also our own native platform tokens. So, you can think of Alaya AI as a data task and processing hub of the Web3 AI ecosystem on BNB Chain. So, maybe a little bit of more background on the ideas of our project. So, at Alaya AI, our vision is pretty simple. So, we believe that the next frontier of AI growth will be driven by open, decentralized data economies, where data labeling ceases to be a purely enterprise service and becomes a more decentralized, community driven project. So the reason is that we believe today's AI models would require massive volumes of high quality labeled data, and historically, this work has been centralized in a relatively small handful of larger providers. So this leads to high administrative costs, limited contributor diversity, and also raises barriers to entry for smaller AI startups and personal AI applications that would often have niche data needs. So we want to change that by combining the best of both worlds. So proven UI tooling and business frameworks that have supported existing AI, Web2 AI industry foundations, and also created successful Web2 data platforms like Scale AI, and also open composable Web3 digital economies built on the foundations of permissionless and instantaneous cross-border payment systems. So basically the idea is to build a open data labeling marketplace on chain to empower everyone, whether they have technical expertise or not, to earn rewards for data contributions. So, a little bit more about the project traction and also the reason why we have chosen BNB Chain. So, since Alaya AI's official release on BNB, OpenBNB in early 2024, we have achieved almost 4 million registered users and are currently ranked among the most popular DApps on OpenBNB. So, we're currently taking the leading position, luckily, in the AI segments and also have consistently ranked within the top five most popular DApps by activity. So our success is made possible more or less in part due to our decision to migrate to the BNB chain ecosystem early on in our development phase. So partly because we've recognized that the importance of adopting a high-speed, high-performance blockchain for building on-chain workflows that strike an ideal balance between decentralization and efficiency is extremely important. And I think the two most important factors behind our decision to adopt BNB Chain is so the first one is its low transaction costs and very extensive native infrastructure networks. So low transaction costs are essential for data labeling platforms because we do need instant borderless microtransactions to play a crucial role in coordinating and incentivizing globally distributed data contributors. So it's really also really important when we consider the possibility of enabling more advanced incentive and reputation mechanisms to further improve data quality with minimal reliance on centralized data reviewing. So because it's really important that we try to build decentralized reputation systems collaboratively across a shared ecosystem. So that's sort of like the reasons and also a little bit of the current traction, the latest progress on our projects and on BNB Chain. So moving forward, um, so a little bit more about the latest progress. So we have, so those of you who are actually following our projects may have already been aware of our announcements for Alaya AI Pro. So that was earlier this year. And I would like to provide a quick recap of Allow AI Pro, what it is, and what sort of challenge it is designed to address for our new viewers before we proceed to our demo section. So, to put it simply, Alaya AI Pro, it's an upcoming iteration of Alaya AI that's designed to focus on providing high quality data services for autonomous driving applications across a global market audience. So it's currently in development, and we expect for future release as a separate module on BNB Chain. So new features of Alaya AI Pro would include additional tools such as bounding boxes, polygons, polylines, and other data labeling and segmentation methods. So these are all specifically designed to accommodate autonomous driving data needs. So and a lot of these tools are previously unavailable through the standard AID app. So it's probably reasonable to ask why we have chosen to focus on the autonomous driving AI data sector for AI Pro, and why have we decided to leverage Web3 and BNB Chain in particular. So to answer this question, it's probably a bit more helpful if we start by taking a look at how autonomous driving AI systems work and how they interact with data in general. So when we talk about autonomous driving systems, the first things that usually come to mind are self-driving cars or autonomous vehicles. So vehicles that are able to perceive the environment around them and navigate safely with minimal human input. So usually to achieve this, autonomous vehicles rely on a combination of sensors such as cameras, radar, LiDAR systems, GPS, and also, most importantly, advanced AI models that process this information in real time. So the autonomous driving vehicle must be able to recognize and respond to elements such as road signs, pedestrians, other vehicles, and unexpected obstacles. It also needs to be able to accurately perceive and understand things like lane markings, traffic lights, and also be able to safely respond to mobile hazards. So At the core of this is labeled training data, which are derived from dynamic sensor inputs. So whether it's video footage or radar readings, or usually a combination of both. So all autonomous driving AI systems are trained on vast quantities of labeled data, and there's pretty much no way we could go around this. So every object and frame of every training data, whether it's street light, whatever, it has to be recognized, accurately identified. So we could see sort of like an example. I'm wondering, why is the image not moving actually? So this is supposed to be a dynamic image, but anyway, so we're taking this image as an example. So uh, what this depicts is more or less how a self-driving car would perceive the environment around it dynamically and distinguish between other vehicles and pedestrians. So, I mean, the picture's supposed to be it's supposed to be playing, but I'm not really sure why it's not moving. But what happens here is that vehicles are distinguished and marked in purple polygons, and people, pedestrians, are actually the little yellow line over there. So as you can see, uh, AI system will have to determine a lot of complex objects and then correctly distinguish between different categories and also different individual instances of each object or areas of interest. So what this relies on a combination of very complex data inputs and also sensor inputs. So moving on. So basically, if we want to build a more safer and more adaptable autonomous driving AI systems, so it's really important for us to consider, how can we incorporate as much high quality training data as possible, not just for standard driving scenarios, but also for long tail edge cases. For example, challenging driving conditions in uh, rural landscapes and unusual regional driving habits, etc. So, problem with these data points is that they're difficult to capture through traditional centralized data labeling channels, as it's generally the case that centralized providers tend to rely on fixed salary data workforces with a relatively restricted demographic composition. So, this results in limited data diversity. But in comparison, we think that distributed Web3 data channels are able to circumvent this limitation by tapping into a distributed global network of data contributors, which allows us to cover a much wider range of driving scenarios, including niche long tail edge cases in smaller countries or more um, remote areas of around the world. So this is also where secure blockchain infrastructure, such as BNB Chain, which is capable of facilitating both exchanges of value and also provide high performance data handling. So these infrastructure become essential foundations for us to build AI networks and also decentralized physical infrastructure networks that are designed to optimally synergize data processing and AI application. So, just wondering if there is a way to play the videos inside. Um, hmm, so just take a look. Excuse me. Just wondering, is it possible to play the videos that I've attached in the file? Or
Yeah, actually, if you want to play something, you can play it. Maybe you can share the screen. I will add that into here. Just share, try to share the screen.
1 second. I just wanted to see if I could directly upload these. Actually, right. Right, apologies. I'll just quickly take a look. Is it? I've tried to put another video, so has it sort of uploaded yet? Oh, yeah, awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I've got actually 3 separate videos that probably have to get them out. Upload them one by one. Mm. Yeah, so we'll probably start with the first video. So in this first demo, we'll look at the most basic function, so which is 2D object detection. So that's completed through bounding boxes. So what we are essentially doing here is using standardized rectangular boxes to identify and label objects of interest that belong to the same category. So in our case here, we are labeling cars. So generally speaking, we only want to label the visible parts of the objects in each frame because the model can only see what's within the image. But if one object is blocking a part of the another object, such as the case here, where we can actually see if you zoom in, car number 4 is partially blocking car number 5. So ideally, we would want to label them separately and only identify the visible portions of each car. So otherwise, annotators might be guessing the invisible parts of the more distant car. So this is the first video. So what it's demonstrating is basically just the standard 2D object detection bounding boxes feature of Allow AI Pro. So moving on, we've got another second video. So could we please present the second video? Thank you. Let's quickly take a look. Three videos actually. Right. It's working. Awesome. Oh, yep. Whoops, sorry, that's the third video. Thank you very much. That's the right one. Yeah. So let's take a look at the our second demo video example. So in this video, we are presented with a more typical example of a smaller sedan, partially blocking a larger truck at the bottom left corner of the frame. So to begin, we start by labeling the two relatively unblocked vehicles on either side of the lane with our standard bounding boxes. But instead of simply placing the sedan and truck in a roughly estimated bounding boxes at the bottom left corner, we switch to something called a polygon tool to carefully trace out the visible outline of each car as accurately as possible. So what we want to do is to tag them separately to avoid the label overlap from the previous situation. So where more distant vehicle is actually partially blocked. So as we can see that the truck is actually only a small portion of the truck is being blocked here. But to be safe, we want to separate them, label them separately. So this way the AI model would know where each car starts and where it ends, basically. So to not confuse it. So moving on to our third demo section. Could we please play media number 3, please? Thank you very much, Jitendra. Awesome. Thank you very much. Yes. So basically, when we talk about polygon bounding, it's generally a lot more time consuming. So you want to trace the entire outline of the object that you are labeling, basically. So, but the problem here is that polygon datasets are very essential for developing reliable autonomous driving systems because bounding boxes they cannot follow an object's true contour. So this limits an AI model's ability to recognize partial occlusions and also be able to take continuous tracking objects, based on their full visibility. So what we want to complete in this scenario is to complete the data frame by identifying and accurately labeling other objects and also areas of interest, such as barriers or trees. So we're looking at not just cars, but also other elements here. So in an ideal situation, we also want to combine camera footage with the corresponding LiDAR point clouds or other sensor readings frame by frame. So what this does is that we then able to provide the AI model with both temporal context and also depth data from multiple angles to develop better path planning and also collision avoidance. So this will generally require separate labeling and tracking toolsets, such as 3D point cloud and also A-modal polygon segmentation. So these are also tools that we are looking forward to incorporate into future iterations of Ally AI Pro. So once here we are labeling out the uh, shadows on the left side. These are actually trees. So it's also pretty important that we do feed data into our AI models with as many varied outcomes and environments as possible, just to be safe. So yeah, basically that's what we can demonstrate to you at present. And so yeah, this concludes our demo. And once again, thank you very much for inviting us to Central. And yeah, we really appreciate today's opportunity. So yeah, please
Awesome,
ask away.
awesome,
Any
awesome.
questions?
This, yeah. Let's move to our questions. So my question is, how will new Ally AI Pro integrate with the existing Ally AI platform and the wider BNB chain ecosystem?
Yeah, thank you very much, Sandra. So let me think. That's a good question. So what we plan to do at the state is that we want to release Ally AI Pro as a separate module on BNB Chain. We plan to actually release both a browser-based the app and an optional local device application. But we do expect the initial release to be PC exclusive, since we're actually expecting the full toolset to be quite taxing on hardware. So it's going to come with a lot higher, a lot more hardware requirements compared to our standard Allow AID app, which is currently accessible through both browser, Telegram bots, and also Google Play. But we do want to stress, though, that Allow AI Pro will be a separate module, but both Allow AI Pro and the standard Allow AID app will receive continued support. So neither of our modules are designed to replace the other, as they're all developed to operate under the same AI data pre-processing and auto-labeling engine network, and that they're designed to seamlessly fit into the wider BNB Chain AI data ecosystem. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Thank you.
Interesting. Awesome. Awesome. This is great to know. And my next question: what new features can we expect from Alaya AI next year, and how can Alaya AI add value for users and AI projects on BNB chain? This is also, one of my favorite questions. I would say. I'd like to learn more about it. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That's a pretty good question as well. So what's what we are expecting, or at least the sort of new features, we want to make sure that we want to first fully cover the official release of AI Pro. So as of now, we don't have a precise date for release because the module is significantly more complex than the standard AID app that we have available now. But we do want to make sure that everything is working as intended before we make the final release public. So we may be looking into beta testing as well on an invite-only basis. But yeah, these are subject to change. But yeah, on top of this, the next thing that we're also looking forward to is the open data platform. So ideally, this is released after Malai AI Pro is officially up and running. So like I said, we want to make sure that everything's working properly. We don't want to ship an incomplete product. So, but basically, eventually, we would like both the Liar AI modules, the Pro version and the standard version, and the open data platform to synchronize with all other AI data and application projects across the BNB Chain ecosystem. Because so what we want to work to is to enable us to directly provide our service network and data pre-processing engines to other BNB Chain projects, either through custom API access or direct SaaS integration.
Great, great. So yeah, I think all of my questions are complete. So now time to select one question from the X. You can choose one question from the comment of the live post and just copy the link so you can reward the person after you answer the question.
Okay, let me take a look. So I don't think I have the link there on this one. Let me just see. Okay, I think I see one question in the chat from Copi Day. So hopefully
Yeah,
that's
actually,
one right.
from from I'm suggesting to choose from
Yep.
the live post in X, not from the YouTube.
Oh,
So for
okay.
example,
Let me just quickly take a look.
okay,
I don't think I have this one open yet.
yeah, you
Oh,
can choose. You can go to the BNB Chain Global X, and you will see the live X post, and you have to choose one of from the comment.
yep. Let me take a look.
I have shared the link on the group. If you want, you can go through directly.
Awesome. Actually, I think I'm having some connection issues with X right now. Would you be happy to just randomly pick a question for me? I don't want to feel like I'm probably biased as well. Yeah.
Okay, sure, sure. Let me tell you some questions. Uh, okay. One question is, you mentioned that you are letting user handle data labeling and analysis. User might intentionally or unintentionally make mistakes during labeling for rewards for other region. How do you ensure the accuracy of the label data? Or or let me tell you one more. Maybe you can choose from any other. Um
Oh, it's actually, I think this is a really good question, and it's
uh,
something that we've discussed on, and also very important parts of pretty much every uh, AI
okay,
data
perfect.
platform.
You can go
So
with it.
there are several ways, several different ways to ensure data quality, but the simplest and most widespread method is to use to apply a what we refer to as sort of like a standard distribution or a Gaussian distribution. What we would do is so compare to say a group of answers for the same question, we can automatically, utilizing pre-processing algorithms, to sort the answers in terms of how similar they are to each other. And by definition, we can set different, similarity thresholds, and then filter out the most extreme um, uh, outliers. So, for example, let's just say that um, a question asks one of the data tasks is basically 1 plus 1 equals what? 1 plus 1 equals 2, right? So if we have 1,000 people answering this question, I think obviously, hopefully, everyone would answer 2, but maybe let's just say someone's trying to farm points, or just inputting random information to contaminate the data sets on the worst case scenario. We say out of 1,000 question, we have 900 people answer 2, which is the correct answer, right? And then we may have another 50 people answer maybe one or three, let's just say that's the hypothetical scenario, then basically that's an outlier, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
maybe we have one person or maybe two people answer a string of numbers or a string of characters, which is obviously we're expecting a one digit number answer, and we're expecting obviously the number that's closest to two. So if we receive something like, apple or whatever, or rainbow, whatever, like something that's way too dissimilar from the expected range of outcomes, then this would be answer would be automatically discarded. So that's sort of like the most basic way that we could filter out randomly answered questions or random data inputs, basically. And on the other hand, I'd say a more effective or probably a more specialized way is to um, implement qualification questions. So a lot of data labeling platforms, they have knowledge requirements. So basically, people who wish to participate in data labeling will have to answer a series of questions. For example, let's say medical knowledge, right? So if you want to contribute to a set of medical data tasks, you'd have to demonstrate that you possess the proper set of knowledge or background in the corresponding area, right? So these are sort of qualification questions that are usually presented before a user is able to answer questions. But what we want to do with our AI is that we don't want to set these sort of barriers to entry. What we do is we plant random qualifier questions into entire data question banks, basically. So qualifier questions are questions that do have predefined answers that are correct answers predefined that we know that we expect. So, for example, let's say we've got 10 questions related to, um, uh, let's just say, medical imaging. 10 questions related to medical imaging. So, among them, three questions may be so they may be random qualifier questions. For example, something related to a particular statistic or maybe sort of basic knowledge in radiology, etc. So we would then evaluate a user's overall data accuracy, or we would be able to predict their overall data reliability based on the how many qualified questions that they correctly answer. So if a user is randomly contributing data, then we would have we would have a very good idea of whether or not they are actually paying attention and contributing, to the best extent of their ability. So this is a more specialized case, but other simpler implementations of qualified questions would be things like attention tests. The simplest way is basically please type the following message into the answer section, and basically the user would have to, if they actually read the question, they would be able to comply and just type or just copy paste the following question, right? But if they're spam clicking or just putting random inputs, obviously they're going to get this one incorrectly. So these are three of the most basic methods that we could incorporate to make sure that we are actually receiving quality input from our users, or at least filter out the most based on a lowest common denominator, basically. If that makes
Awesome.
sense, hopefully.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yep. Yep. This is interesting to know. And yeah, I think we have completed all of our questions. And now time for Alan to present Sky AI. And Richard, it was a great demo, a great discussion. And for all of our audience who are watching us, still there is the chances on. If you guys are interested, please feel free to ask your question on the live X post. So our next speaker can select your questions, and if you get selected, then we're gonna give you some rewards. And this MA is still yet have to complete. And the next speaker will be Alan from Sky AI. And Richard, it was a great discussion, and thanks for joining. Time to say,
Thank you very much.
yep, I'm gonna remove you from the stage to add Alan. Hi,
Hi.
Alan.
Hey,
Hi.
hi, Jitendra.
Hi,
Hi. Nice to
welcome to BNB AI on BNB. And
yes,
now it's your time to go to represent your intro and
yeah,
so as a demo. And after that, we're gonna have a Q&A session with you. Then you have to
yes,
pick a question from the X post, live X post of this AI on BNB.
yeah.
And yeah, please feel free
All
to
right,
start.
sure. All right, so let me just start off with 5 minutes introduction about Sky AI. Yeah. So Sky AI, as everyone knows, is an all-in-one ecosystem, right, powered by our model context protocol. Right. Sky AI extend the MCP standard to support multi-chain data services designed specifically for all the large language modeling application. Right. With support from chains like our BCSC and Solana, we can now provide access to over 10 billion rows of full node data. Our long-term vision is also to unlock data liquidity and also build a thriving on-chain data economy through the MCP marketplace, where data flow freely between the providers, AI agents, as well as users as well. Now, for some exciting updates, we just completed the first milestone in enabling the user-defined MCP tools, right, with API-based custom MCP right now, fully supported and tested. We are preparing to release very soon, so catch our updates very soon. This means that any users right now, right, can connect externally APIs directly to the AI system and then to the blockchain as well, dramatically expanding what the agent can do, also called the AI agent can do. Right. This achievement actually sets the foundation for our upcoming MCP marketplace, where user will be able to share, explore, and monetize their custom MCP tools. Right. But we are not stopping there as well. So our engineering team is already building the next phases of two types of user-defined MCP. One will be the serverless MCP, where users can write such like scripts, Node.js or Python directly into the platform itself. And then the second one will be external MCP configs, right? Allow instant integration from platforms like, if you know MCP marketplace like mcp.so, you can directly import some of these MCP platforms into the platform itself, right? So we believe this is a big step towards the democratizing the AI tooling and bring in the real utilities of the Web3 data, right? So I would need to, okay, the demo is there. So I'll just show a quick demo of what we are up and coming. Right now you can see that the users can now select their own MCP package tools, and you can create even the own MCP tool packages themselves. Right. So for this demo, let's create a simple one. Let's say, for example, we call it Alex MCP tools. You give a package name itself, and package name has to be unique as well, right? So give me a while. And the package version, that's important, whether it's alpha or you want the 1.0, you have to define this properly. And some description about this package. Yeah. So once you create, you might probably hear the error saying that the MCP package ID has already been used or properly because previously we have been using some very common names. So right now, let's create a new unique one. Okay, let's try to create again. Right. So this actually create the tool sets framework first, right? As well as the description that you provide. And then right now we create a category ID, such like we call it utilities. So this is just basic utilities tools, right? So next is we create these custom tools, right? So as you can see from the custom tools, what we can do is we can actually use the different tool types from API, serverless, which I just mentioned just now, the server config as well, but it's not available right now. So currently we're only enabling the APIs that is able to call for other APIs from other servers as well. So define your tool names. Let's say we try to get Sky AI digital, wallet or signature. Let's call it a digital signature. Give a short description. and then give a full summary description. Sorry, I have to copy this because it's going to take a long time typing out. Right, so this tool is also able to get AI, Sky AI digital signature from a specific tools, and then we give a title because we want to describe this tool that powered, let's say powered by Sky AI, and then properly also give an image URL if you have it, and then give a link also to the website that properly directly link to your projects. Right, so all this will be actually be shown later in your MCP tools to the users themselves, right? So people will know what actually your tools are doing. So basic tools are already, function is already updated. Now your tooling system information, such like what do you want these particular functions to do? So we actually pass a specific address, right? And then returns a digital signature with a length of 16. That is actually hashing the particular signature, and then the input schemas, right? So we actually also provide a link for these particular schemas build up for JSON schemas, if those that really know what they are doing, right? So to actually help you to define a JSON schema, for example, address, and then some description. Just hold on a while, address that. For example, we type it, the address that wants to get the digital address, oh sorry, the digital signature. So properly we give it a real signature name. We link it to our data mask address, right? So basically this is actually to define your JSON structures. So you can see that your JSON structures is now ready, and then copy and paste into the input schemas. Right, and then next you have to also generate your input, some kind of input data examples over there, and then as well as your output schemas. So this particular functions is actually trying to get the hash digital signature, right? So we just type it's going to output as a digital hash signature, probably some XXX, you know. Right. Then we copy the same thing, copy the JSON schema over to the output schemas, and generate like a output data, right? So let's save, and then right now, where do you want to post your functions, right? So in a way, where is your function located in your server address? So that's where your APIs is calling, right? Additional request headers, if you have like authorization, your barrier tokens and stuff like that, you just put there. So for us, we just put a demo, probably X Sky AI alert. Right, so the header, you can put anything that you want. So for those who understand about the post request, you can put any headers that you like. So you run your API as a demo, and then you get a certain data. For this, we just put back to this. And then the formatting the input functions, right? So if you have your input functions properly before any process, you want to pre-process some of your input functions, you can also write it here. So some scripting can wrote, for example, return address, input address, and then in some index properly 0, something like that. So that's for debugging of your input data as well. Right, bear with me for a while because right now we are trying to form up the tool sets so that I can run the full tools for you guys to have a look as well of how we actually write a custom MCP tools. Right, so that will be your response results. Okay, okay, so let's try to match according to the output signature equals to respond to the data. Yeah, and this was, so we should save it. Right, so the API data is updated right now. Okay, that's done. So we can start to publish it. Right, so once we publish it, it will actually appearing on the Sky AI platform. Right, right. Make sure you check all your data. Right, publishing tool. So on the publishing tool is where we also put in a lot of effort. Make sure that everyone check through the data, the toolset data. Sorry. Right, so make sure everything is correct. Once you think it's okay, then you click on yes, I have checked. Right, and you verify also the tools data and you publish the tools. Right, so then you will be given the last published date. Okay, so right now let's try out. Right, so if you have done your package, you should see the package actually appearing under your MCP packages, right? And then we will try to call what is my wallet address or Sky AI digital signature. So I'm calling my functions right now. So what happened is it will actually call my APIs, right? And connecting back to the MCP tools, sorry, connecting MCP tools, call my APIs, and trying to connect to my wallet in the MetaMask. Yeah, so you can see that this is happening right now in real time, and then you get your signatures. So we have successfully completed a tool sets, right? So this actually took us a lot of time. Although it looks simple right now, the back end has a lot of jobs, right? In terms of retrieving the tool sets, the data from the AI as well as also from the blockchain itself. All right, so that's all from my demo. Back to Jesse.
Awesome,
Yep.
awesome, awesome. I think now it's come to the end for the live Q&A.
Mm,
So I have two questions to ask, and after that you can select one questions from the
yeah.
live post of X. So yeah, the question is, what is the focus of your recent and upcoming development work?
Okay, thanks for that. That's a great questions. Just now, as I mentioned on as well as demoing on the Sky AI platform itself, our development work right now is driven by one big idea, right? How do we empower users not just to consume AI and blockchain services, but actually to create, customize, and eventually share their own tools, right? While unlocking the true value of data. To make this happen, actually, our team is right now split into two main focus areas. First, we have the team working on building and improving the official MCP tools and the AI features. This was actually the main focus of our previous version, getting the core system stable, making sure the AI agent could interact smoothly with the blockchain data, and integrating the third-party features like bubble maps, right? Which actually takes a lot more time than we expected, right? We can also continuously fine-tune these tools to make sure that when new users arrive, they have the powerful and ready-to-use capabilities right out of the box. Now, the second part of our focus, where things get really exciting, is we're expanding into more advanced capability that give controls directly to the users themselves. We believe the future of Web3 and AI isn't about centralized team building every tools. It's about creating an ecosystem where anyone, no matter their technical level, can build, customize, and launch their own MCP tools. That's why our latest release is called the Console 2.0. We introduced quite a few brand new subsystems that allow the users to, one, create and manage their own MCP tools, right? Define your custom input and output schemas, right? And also write your own JavaScript code or probably other codes in the future to process the data, and even preview and debug their own tools step by step through an interactive wizard. We have essentially built a no code, low code kind of environment for AI blockchain integration, where the complexity happens behind the scenes, right? And user interact through intuitive interfaces. Looking ahead, we have more major priorities right now, right? First, we are enabling more types of user-defined MCP tools. We currently try to work on the serverless MCP, where user can upload their logic code that runs safely in the sandbox environment, right? The other one, the other one is actually we are building a config file based MCP so that user can literally copy and paste config files from sites like the mcp.so, which I previously mentioned, and instantly launch MCP services without any coding. Now, both of these is about lowering the barrier and then increasing autonomy. Okay. Secondly, we also try to strengthen the platform infrastructure and user experience. We recently completed a big UI refactoring, fixed out quite a lot of bugs, optimized information flow to make sure the whole system is much more smoother and approachable. We also tackle some architecture performance bottleneck from the data side, which we expect to fully resolve shortly as well, right? And then third, we also laying the groundwork for something very important, the MCP marketplace. So once user can build their own MCP tools, the next step is to help them to share, monetize, and collaborate. And how this MCP marketplace will be the space for anyone to publish their tools, discovered, as well as potential earning the rewards for their contribution. Now that will actually bring us closer to a true data economy, right? And fourth, we're exploring AI-assisted creation tools. This one is a little bit hard, but in future, we think that users don't even need to manually configure MCP tools. AI could help them generate logic and properly suggest inputs and create the whole tool sets altogether. So in parallel, we're working on workflow orchestra tools like even NAN, we testing, but it's more complex than what we think. So we'll probably evaluate the solutions before we actually want to release. And finally, throughout all this, we will stay laser focused on our long-term missions to bridge the AI and blockchain in a way which is open, accessible, and put users in control for both their tools and data. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. The
Yeah.
next question is, I'd like to learn, which is related to AI technology that you
Mm.
are developing. So, what are the challenges you have faced, and how did you overcome from them?
Yeah. Well, that's a very important and also a very technical question. But let me try to share some of the insights of what behind the scenes we're working on. So to be honest, we face a wide range of challenges throughout our development, right? Both in SCP related as well as the AI itself. First of all, the MCP protocol, right? The Multi Context Protocol is a loosely defined protocol. The official SDK handle most of the heavy lifting, right? But it's still not enough, right? So because Sky AI situation is very different, our platform actually needs to manage and customize a large numbers of MCP clients and server simultaneously, which we what we call a full duplex MCP setup, right? It's much more complex than the traditional MCP use cases. So in order to allow the user to define their own MCP tools, which is a key feature of our latest release, we have to deep dive into the MCP architecture. Now, in some cases, we even had to modify the official SDK and intercept communication between the MCP server and the AI to create a working solution. So in essence, we have built an entirely a proxy-like model middleware communication framework just to make sure that this flexibility is possible. Next, we also face the UI side challenges, right? One big question is how do we display execution process, the logic flow, and real-time results of NCP tools that user can really understand. So we have to redesign something, the SSE communication framework, which stands for the server-side events to interact with the AI. This upgrade actually allow us to stream data in real time, but actually more importantly to replay historical interactions, right, on how they are visually on how the MCP tool is running under the hood, right? So features like quick reply buttons, selection menus, and even event embedded candles charts. We will actually be doing releasing that, but there's some part of the SSE frameworks that we're writing. So another challenge, I think, in most AI spaces, right, is actually the AI itself. If you work with large language modeling, they are powerful, yes, but they tend to hallucinate. Right? Sometimes they produce incorrect results, informations, and are very unpredictable in some cases, right? So in order to tackle this, we actually dedicated an engineer solely to prompt engineering. So essentially crafting detailed instruction and system descriptions that help to guide the AI's behavior. But honestly, this is still an emerging field, so there's no universal playbook on this one. It's really some trial and error. So we hope that the new version will work better than the previous one. But sometimes it is, in AI, the LLM works actually in the opposite way, right? So lastly, we also face technical challenge on the on-chain data processing, namely the performance and data accuracy. When officially using MCP to query the BNB smart chain, we notice sometimes the result was delayed and even outdated. So this creates some problems when users rely on real-time blockchain insights. So we have since identified all these issues and now working actively to fix some of these more faster and also more accurate data delivery. Yeah, thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's great to know actually. So yeah, it's time to select one questions from the comment section of our live X post. So
yeah,
please feel free to go and select one question from there
yeah.
and
I'm
copy the
trying to
link of the question.
yeah. Hang on now. Just let me go through some of the questions. Or is it possible that you share some of the questions? Because I couldn't find anyone
Yeah,
that's
sure.
related to.
Actually, sure. Please give me a moment.
Sure,
So
sure.
basically, all of the questions who are coming now, maybe in the bottom part of the post. So if you
Okay,
select,
let me try to go to the bottom as well. Okay, I think I have one.
Mhm.
Can Sky AI identify scam tokens? And does it only analyze a known one? By Liu Tong. Yeah.
Please copy the link of the question and
Okay, I
share in the group.
try to check. Yeah. Just paste it here, right?
In the Telegram group.
In the Telegram. Sorry, in the
Correct.
X group or in the Telegram?
In the Telegram group.
I do not have the Telegram group. Or maybe I post it here for you. You have the
Yeah,
studio.
sure. You can
Yeah.
post. You can post in the comment.
You get it?
Nope.
No. Um,
So what's the question? Let me share.
can Sky AI identify scam tokens or just analyze known ones?
Okay. Scam. Okay, I got that. You
Yeah.
can now go and answer the question.
Okay, so I think this is a very important question. It touches on something that matter everyone in the Web3 safety and trust, right? So right now, Sky is primarily focusing on analyzing known tokens only, provide a deeper, real-time insight, behavior equity, and other key metrics. This includes some of these market trends, transaction patterns, and etc. But as I said, the goals isn't about stop to add known tokens. We're also actively working towards AI more capable of flagging suspicious or potential scammy tokens as well. To be honest, we are not known also to go into that path of scammy tokens analysis, but we can actually try in terms of to train Sky AI to reach out to look out for some red flags such like unusual liquidity behaviors, sudden wallet concentration spike, or abnormal trading patterns and stuff like that. In fact, if the users, right, if some of you users are able to provide the tool sets of such kind and then integrate into the Sky AI MCP, that will even be greater. Your tools can be actually be monetized as well, right? Yeah,
Awesome, awesome.
yeah,
This is great. This is great, and
yeah,
literally, I enjoy the session.
yeah.
And I think we are about to close our live stream. So before closing the session, do you have any final outro or thoughts for our audience? Because right now
Right.
we are
So
watching by like 4,200 people. So far.
okay, so thanks for that. So I think look forward to our Sky AI releases of these current versions that are just now demoed, right? So to build the MCP tool sets to for our blockchain as well as the AI agents, that will actually help to empower the users to build more functionalities to the Web3 as well as to the AI agents, right? So we actually looking forward for more users to contribute to to our ecosystems, right? And then maybe just now as what one of the questions, how do you detect scam tokens? If you guys have even better solutions or functions in terms of that and provide us with the MCP tools, we can even help to integrate that portion into it. Okay, thanks a lot.
Awesome, awesome, awesome,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you.
And thanks for joining today's session. And we'll see you in the next session. And yep, thanks, Alan. And bye, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.